Good afternoon, Tampa Bay. I'm Tom DuPont, the publisher with the DuPont Registry, Tampa Bay, here at our World International Headquarters located in St. Petersburg, just across from the St. Pete Airport. Special guest today, Melissa Dome Hill with Hands Across the Bay, one of the leading charitable efforts in our area that has had so much effect in helping people in need in this community. Thank you, Melissa, for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Mr. DuPont. I am honored to be here. I am so blessed to work for Hands Across the Bay for the past 8 years, and we truly make such an impact in our community. I'm honored to be part of it.
So tell us what some of your most important efforts are in the community.
So through Hands Across the Bay, we help families who are in crisis to no fault of their own. So individuals who fall on hard times and truly at no crisis of their own. So they may be working full time and unfortunately an accident happens, or somebody has an unexpected illness. We are very known for our domestic violence advocacy and prevention efforts. I am the leader of the Domestic Violence Division program for Hands Across the Bay. We help survivors rebuild their lives. So we are not the crisis domestic violence shelter. We are the next step. So after a survivor has found that safe shelter and escaped from an abusive relationship, what do they do next? Well, often Hands Across the Bay, we step in and we're able to stabilize these families. And really, we follow so many survivors for many years and watch the transformation from victim to survivor to thriver, is what we like to say. So,
Thriver, excellent.
Yes.
And that's a goal. And you must have had an effect on by now hundreds of people who have come through your program and are back on their feet somewhere being participating members of the community.
Absolutely. So Hands Across the Bay, our promise to the community is we are privately funded right here. We raise all of our money through events, and all the money directly helps local families here in Tampa Bay. So we have helped hundreds, probably up in the thousands over, we were founded back in 2009 as a 501c3.
So it's been at it since 2009. And of course, the leader of this effort is Julie Weintraub and her husband, Steve.
Yes.
Who own the Gold and Diamond Source. We'll put a plug in for that. But you get free office space and everything from Julie and Steve to be able to operate out of, right?
Absolutely. So Hands Across the Bay was founded by Steve and Julie Weintraub, and we are in the back of the business. So you wouldn't normally think of a charity organization helping survivors and children and families in crisis to be in the back of a jewelry store, but that is where we are housed. They cover our office space, our salaries, our supplies. We even use a portion of their warehouse to create a donation center where families can come shopping for free and get kitchen items, clothing. We have a hygiene shelf, a food shelf. You know, we're a one-stop shop, all right out of Gold and Diamond Source, so we're very blessed.
That's just amazing. You know, it's right there on Ulmerton Road in Pinellas County in the Gateway area. It's a fabulous organization, and Julie and Steve have done such a terrific job over the years. Now, I know some of your great events are Denim and Diamonds,
Yes.
Diamonds and Denim, whichever.
Denim and Diamonds.
Denim and Diamonds, and you also have the great dancing effort.
Yes, Tampa Bay's Dancing with the Stars. So we just had our diamond anniversary last year, so we did have to take a year off due to COVID and all the events being canceled. But Tampa Bay's Dancing with the Stars has actually funded Hands Across the Bay for 10 years. So the funds we raised that one night, you know, we work all year. It's a huge show. We have dancers, celebrity dancers partnered with professionals, and we have just this amazing night to shine, Tampa Bay's Dancing with the Stars. So
For those of you who don't know, Dancing with the Stars is quite the event. You
Yes.
get 25, 45-minute dance lessons with your instructor, and then you dance one dance in front of 300 or 400 people at the dinner, at the grand celebration, and you perform your dance, and there's usually anywhere around 10 to 15 couples dancing, and there are judges there, and they judge whether you're the best one or the best male, best female. You were a dancer at one time.
I was a dancer back in 2013. So at that time, I was going through a very hard time. I'm a survivor of domestic violence myself. So that was the year that my abuser was in court. And just before Dancing with the Stars, my abuser was sentenced to life in prison. And it was just a really hard time in my life. And Julie says she wanted to give me the opportunity to be a dancer. And so while I was, really upset and going through these court pre-trials, I was also going to dancing lessons and just learning how to ballroom dance. And it's just such an amazing experience to, get yourself jump in head first into. And
you do jump in head first.
Yes.
I did Dancing with the Stars back in a little bit before that. I think 2007 or 2009. And had quite the experience doing it. I'm glad I don't have to try it again at my age.
Well,
but it was really fun, and it does when you're learning to do this dance routine, you forget about what else is going on.
Yes.
You have to focus on what you're doing. How the guys on TV show do it, I don't know, but they get to stage it over and over and over in front of a camera and tape it.
Yes.
You're live in front of
It's
400 or 500 people.
one chance. And now it's grown. It's about 600 guests now for
Really?
Dancing with the Stars. So we packed the room, sold out. So that's in a pre-COVID world, of course, 600 people packed in there. So we don't know what the future of it looks at this moment for Dancing with the Stars, but it has truly, that event is the reason we are where we are today. With
That's a
Hands
big
Across the
event.
Bay.
So tell us a little bit more about Kindness Warriors.
So our Kindness Warriors are our volunteers. So Hands Across the Bay, we call our volunteers our Kindness Warriors. So being a Kindness Warrior is somebody who it's their mission to spread love and happiness into the world. So we feel that every ripple of kindness we release into the world has the potential to create a large wave. So a lot of our families that we serve and the survivors we serve actually end up becoming Kindness Warriors and helping the next survivor, the next family. When we have a Hands Across the Bay event, it's amazing to know that so many of our volunteers that are helping there were actually Hands Across the Bay families. So anybody can become a Kindness Warrior. If you'd like to go to our website, we have a volunteer application. It's handsacrossthebay.org, and you can apply. We send out emails and everything of what kind of event, what's going on, and we'd love to have you. So also, being a Kindness Warrior is not just, you put your shirt on, it says Kindness Warrior on the back. You feel, you're doing good. I feel like when we put our
Absolutely.
yellow shirts on and you see the yellow shirts around town or the Hands Across the Bay Kindness Warrior van, believe me, when you see that and somebody out there wear that, there's good happening. So
Okay, the other big event is Denim and Diamonds.
yes.
A celebration when you get to wear your fancy jewelry in your blue jeans.
In your blue jeans. So it's
lunch,
awesome. It's
though.
a luncheon. So
Luncheon.
that is not as formal as Dancing with the Stars. We have that big, beautiful to the nines event. And Denim and Diamonds is fun, and you can wear your bedazzled jeans on a Saturday. It's a luncheon. Previously, the first 3 years was at Bel Air Country Club, and this year we moved to Opal Sands Resort. It was really, really beautiful. And that is a committee of women a few years ago in Bel Air got together, led by Devin Pappas, and really saw the work Hands Across the Bay was doing, and they formed the event Denim and Diamonds. So now it's another signature luncheon we are so blessed to have, because again, Hands Across the Bay is privately funded through donations. So all of our work that we do is possible by people who support.
So let's talk more case specific here. I know you're a survivor,
I am.
and we're so glad that you are, because what you
Amen.
bring to the community is just exceptional. It's extraordinary.
Thank you.
And I suspect that you're able to understand very quickly what some of these folks are going through because of your own experience. But I know you reach out to people who are victims of domestic violence, but you also talk about the youngsters and this problem that sometimes happens with youngsters who get a little carried away when they're dating,
Yes.
and how dating violence can really affect them over a long period of time. You have a program right now working on that. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So we are very passionate about domestic violence prevention and awareness. I truly feel that if we have education for teenagers and youth, middle school and high schoolers about dating violence, they wouldn't fall into these very dangerous domestic violence relationships as frequently as we're seeing in our statistics right now. It may be shocking to people to know, if you have a teenager at home, that right now 1 in 3 teenagers are in some form of an abusive relationship.
Ouch.
So when you think of the number 1 in 3, that is very startling. It is very prevalent. So we need to have this conversation. So Hands Across the Bay, we have our prevention program, and we can go into schools. Right now, again, we're doing more virtual presentations, so we'd be happy to have virtual presentations. We can via Zoom or pre-recorded video, and we can get our message of dating violence awareness out to your school, to your club, to your business, or your church. So we'd be happy to provide those. And we also have resources. So if you are watching this and you'd like to get some resources on how to talk to your teen about dating violence, we'd be happy to provide them. We sponsor or partner with the Tampa Bay Times to bring this each year. We've probably done it for 4 or 5 years and got 500,000 copies of these into the hands of teenagers. So if anybody would like some, they can reach out to us. We also have these awesome bookmarks that talk about the warning signs, loves me not, and great tips on how to talk to your teen. So we try to make it easy on you. We know that domestic violence is hard to talk about. It's hard to bring up that topic of dating, and these hopefully kind of ease that burden and help parents and youth navigate how to start that conversation.
Well, you start at that point in their lives, maybe it'll be a little bit less of a problem when they grow older as well.
Yes, I do want to say that myself, I'm a survivor of dating violence and domestic violence. I was only 19 years old when I was a victim of attempted murder. So my ex-boyfriend, who I met at Clearwater High School, we started off as a very normal dating violence relationship. After I tried to leave him knowing he was abusive, he came back and I actually was stabbed 32 times. So it was a really horrific attack, and by the grace of God, my life was saved. I was airlifted to Bayfront Hospital, where doctors tirelessly worked to save my life, and many months of therapy and counseling and everything later, Hands Across the Bay came into my life and helped get me stabilized. Julie became my advocate personally, and that's really what led me to this path of work. So being a survivor and being so young and not having that knowledge, I truly feel that it is my purpose and my mission to speak out about this. And once I met Julie, and not only I myself was stabilized as assisted by Hands Across the Bay, I felt like, wow, I wish I could do this for somebody else. I wish I, could lend that helping hand. And that's when Julie decided to hire me. And I've
So
been
it's an important mission, and we're so glad that you survived this incident in your life, and then so many good doctors were there to help you out.
Amen.
And then somebody was able to reach out and lend you a hand, like Julie did, to help you pull you back out of the abyss and help start you on the right path, which has been so beneficial not only for Melissa and Julie, but for our whole community, our whole town. We're very fortunate to have you in the community and do the efforts. I have to bring to you a saying that I learned way back when I was in high school, which stuck with me a long time. There was a fella in the high school, and Jimmy was a little Italian guy that he was the janitor. He always had a pressed uniform on with Jimmy on his lapel, and always looked good. And he was always stopping everywhere in the hallway to mop something, pick up a piece of trash, whatever. And you kind of learned from Jimmy's habits that you needed to be out there doing something more than just going to class and coming back. Jimmy had a saying that was turned into a plaque, and when he died at a fairly young age, at 41, they put the plaque up in his honor at the school. And I don't know too many schools that have a plaque in honor of the janitor who passed away. But Jimmy said that life was all about looking out and not in, looking up and not down, looking forward and not back, and lending a hand.
Absolutely.
And that embodies what Hands Across the Bay does. It's all about a hand. It's reaching across the bay. And you've been able to draw members of the community together. So give us a story on either a volunteer that came out of nowhere and said, geez, I want to do this for you, or in fact, maybe an incident where you obviously don't want to use names in some of these cases, but an incident where somebody you were rescuing went through a really tough time. You were able to pull them back from the abyss.
Absolutely. Well, first thing that came to mind as a survivor that I would love to share anonymously her story. So I know a quote too, that the only time you should be looking down to somebody is when you're trying to help them up. So I thought of that when you were saying that too. That's a beautiful story for the janitor. But this survivor I want to share with you. So she came to us. She was in a domestic violence shelter. So she was referred to us through the shelter and applied on a website for assistance, and in a really bad place. So she was a refugee from another country, and his prerogative was that he would take a woman from another country to isolate her, abuse her, have children with her, abuse the children, in full isolation. So she was able to break out of this, the first woman that was able to break out of his cycle. And so when we got her, she was completely broken, never worked a day in her life, never was able to leave. And through our programs, she started first as a volunteer because she wanted to get some work training skills. We said, you can volunteer with us and we'll help you. And I ended up going to SBC with her. She applied for financial aid, got into the medical tech program. We saw her then from, completely not able to support herself to then into school. She graduated into her medical tech program, got a job as a tech. We went to court with her as her advocates. We stood by her side. The man was found guilty. He got termination of parental rights. And now she is completely self-sufficient. She has a degree, her own apartment, her own way of supporting herself. She's the mother of these 2 children that now can look up to their mom and know that they can provide everything. And it's so unbelievable to think of how they come to us and how, just so broken and literally feel so hopeless. And we can provide just that spark of hope and show them that it is possible, that you can overcome this. And just seeing with Hands Across the Bay, we don't just help someone once and they're on their way. We are here for the journey, and it is a journey of surviving and thriving. It's takes time and healing, and it's truly incredible to see the transformation from full victim to incredible independent survivor. So that's just
and it's one at a time.
Yes.
And it's a building block. When you build one and then another and then another, and they're going to come back to you and volunteer their time
Yes.
and give their advice and help with your experience, and then another, and pretty soon you've got this base of support out there. There are people that you've reached out to, and they go out in the community and reach out to community people. And it's just all about Hands Across the Bay and lending a hand to those in need.
Absolutely.
And I know you've got some big sponsors for Hands Across the Bay, so let's list a few of them for
Absolutely.
everybody to know, because that's
Yes.
important. Somebody who can write a big check is one thing, but they do it with such passion because they want you to be able to use the money. And that's another important part. When you look at charitable efforts, you want to make sure that a majority of the money goes towards the charity and the actual action rather than administrative and that kind of advertising and that kind of stuff. Well, we know all that's covered by the Golden Diamond
Yes,
Source.
of course.
100 cents on the dollar goes right to the effort of helping these people.
Of course. I would say thank you to Golden Diamond Source first, as you're saying, and then secondly would be our number one sponsor every year, our presenting sponsor for Dancing with the Stars and Denim and Diamonds, and that is Pure Life Medi-Spa. Thank you so much to Dr. Joe and Alif Fitzgerald. They are incredible supporters of Hands Across the Bay. Honestly, we wouldn't be able to do our work without them, and it goes further than just writing the check. Through Pure Life Medi-Spa, they've also helped survivors with services. Sometimes the survivor's feeling down on themselves, and they've helped restore that confidence. So we are so thankful to Pure Life Medi-Spa. And secondly, I'd like to say thank you to Sherry and Harvey Schonbrun of Schonbrun, PA. They are also our board members and very generous, loyal supporters year after year for Dancing with the Stars and Denim and Diamonds.
Well,
So.
Pure Life, Elif and Fitz are
Yes.
just two extraordinary characters.
Absolutely.
And they seem to be turning up almost everywhere, but they're always helping people. They also have a medical and a practice to help people feel better about themselves, look a little bit nicer. And they've been supporters of charitable efforts in the community for years. And they just operate. I suspect they operate at almost the same speed as Julie.
Oh, yes.
Just full speed down the pike. They're going to take care of it, and it's over. So hats off to them and to the Schonburns and to Julie and Steve for what they do for this community. We're very lucky to have people like that living in the Tampa Bay area. And this makes it an even better place to live besides all the sun and warm weather and the Buccaneers
Yes.
and the Lightning.
Go Bucks.
And let's not forget the Rays as well. Pretty
Absolutely.
exciting town to be in right now.
We're in Tampa Bay here.
Yeah, Tampa Bay. So, Melissa, thank you for being with us. We've enjoyed the conversation and updating everybody on the latest news at Hands Across the Bay. And if you want to go to handsacrossthebay.org,
Yes.
that's where you can find more information. You can join up, you can support, you can get tickets to the next Denim and Diamonds and the next Dancing with the Stars and every other effort. And let's not forget the Christmas time when you pack the car full of toys.
Absolutely.
And give somebody keys to an automobile who already is able to cover their insurance and their gasoline. They just don't have the money to get a car.
Families, yep. We
Working
give that
families.
hand up. We're not a handout at Hands Across the Bay. We are a hand up.
Very important. A hand up, not a hand out.
Yes.
So that ends our time for today. I'm Tom DuPont, publisher of the DuPont Registry, Tampa Bay. Glad to have been with you again today. We look forward to being with you again soon on another broadcast, another Tampa Bay Talks from right here in our headquarters in Pinellas County. So go out and make it a great day, Tampa Bay.